Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today I'm hoping to be able to answer some of the viewer emails and comments that I get regularly here on the channel regarding some storage, some equipment, and some tools that I have here in the shop. I know you guys can't read all the comments and all the emails, but it just seems like it's the same things over and over again. People want to know about this, they want to know about that, and I'm answering these comments and emails. And I thought maybe it'd be better that if I just take you around the shop and do a video, and hopefully everybody will be able to see, and I'll be able to answer some of the questions you may have. So let's get started. Okay, so first up is the paint rack. I know, as silly as it may sound, but I get a lot of people ask me, where did you get that? How did you make it? So on and so forth. And this is a fairly simple thing, but it's a nice sense of organization here in your shop. Basically, this was just a cabinet that I had retrieved somewhere and just turned it into something here in the shop. This had a shelf down here, so it had 3 shelves and all kinds of space for storage. And at one time I had my cans standing up on the shelf, and that was good and everything, but I couldn't really see the colors. They're standing up, you couldn't really see what was going on. So I thought maybe it'd be better if I took that shelf out and I put a series of horizontal shelves in here, roughly 3 inches apart from each other on about a 10 or 15 degree angle, that I could put 2 or 3 times as many cans on here and be able to see the colors that I have to choose from. So that's what I did. It's a fairly simple deal. This particular one is 12 inches deep. It's about 30 inches wide and 30 inches tall. If you choose to make something like this, of course you can make it any size you want, but the depth of it is about 12 inches. I've recessed these horizontal shelves back away so I can easily access the cans and put them back for easy storage. Again, I've got about 60-70 cans in here in this small little area, and I can see everything quite clearly. Obviously, I'm getting a few more cans, so I'm stacking them out here in the front. So yes, I probably could use a bigger one, but space is a problem for me. So anyways, this is the paint rack. Good sense of organization and very efficient. All right, so next up is the can crusher. I've done a couple videos on this in the past. You can look those up if you want. But basically what this is it crushes cans. I collect a lot of aluminum cans here in the shop, and it's nice to get them smashed down and put them in a bucket. It's much more efficient that way when you recycle. These are some parts left over from a project I did several years ago. The customer had given me a whole bunch of different parts to try to make something. We chose specific certain parts. We used those, and he had these left over, and he told me I could just have them. So that was basically an air cylinder and a switch right here. And so I sat around for a while, and I decided that I could do something with this. So that's when I designed and made this frame right here, incorporated the air cylinder and the switch into it. And then I've got air coming to the bottom, and I'm going to demonstrate this here in a minute. Basically, you put a can in, you move the switch down, it smashes the can. When you lift the switch up, the cylinder goes up, and air blows the can into this tube and down into this bucket. And I'll get you some close shots and show you that. But for those of you who are asking about the can crusher, that is how it came about, and that's how it works. So let me show you this. Alright, so this is how this works. I've got an air switch over here because the cylinder's got a leak in it, so I incorporated this in. So basically, you turn the air on, switch goes up, put a can in, smash it, and then it goes into this tube and down into the bucket. Let's do it one more time. Alright, so there it is, the can crusher. It's been a pretty practical piece of equipment here in the shop, and it's really been a good conversational piece over the years. Alright, so next is the overhead storage rack. I'm actually standing on a little step stool so I can get up high enough. I've got a 10-foot roof line here, but This rack up here is designed to hold my longer pieces of stock. There would be 8, 10, 12 feet long. I don't want to store them outside. I want to keep them inside. And I've got no room on the floor or on the sides to stack this stuff. So I thought a good place would be above. Now, it's fairly simple. All I've done is this is some 1.5 inch square tube, and it's roughly about 7 or 8 feet wide and about 14 inches deep. And I've actually welded that together and then lag screwed them into the roof rafters. They're running 16 inches on center in this direction, so I'm tied into the roof rafters. I've got 3 of them here, about 48 inches on center, and this holds a material that, like I said, is longer stuff that I can't stand up here in the shop. As you guys know, most of this metal comes in 20-foot lengths, and my little girl truck can't haul 20-foot lengths, so I have this metal supply store usually cut everything in half for me, or close to, depending on the project I'm working on. So if I've got some leftover material, then those 10-footers or 12-footers, they store pretty good above my head, and everything is out of the way. Okay, so this is the Delusional Design 4x4 plasma table. Now, I've had this for about a year now, and I've had absolutely no problems with it, no complaints with it. It gets used weekly here in the shop. It's actually called a 4x4, but it actually is about 4.5 feet by 5 feet. These sheets that I purchased are 4 by 5. They fit on here no problem at all. It's just like any piece of equipment. It requires a little bit of maintenance. You know, I keep the water filled with it, and I keep with sodium nitrate in the water that prevents rust. There's a 0 rust in this table right now, and I've had it for over a year. Water's been in it for over a year. The rollers and the guides, I keep them lubricated with WD-40 weekly. I run everything back and forth to be sure everything is lubricated. The saw has not missed a beat. It has not missed a cut since I've had it, and there's literally been thousands of things cut out of it. So very effective, very useful piece of equipment, at least for me here in my shop. This 4x4 table fits perfectly in here. I couldn't handle much bigger because I just simply don't have any room. And for the price, I really couldn't go wrong. I think that with the cutter, which by the way is the HTP Microcut 875 SC, I think that has a lot to do with the performance of the machine. With the cutter and the machine is somewhere around $5,000, which is pretty affordable when you look at it. So, Delusional Design, 4x4 plasma table, thumbs up. All right, so this brings us to the welding cart. Probably the most talked about piece of equipment here in my shop, in the comment sections and the emails I get. How do you like it? Have you made any changes to it? Why do you have so many machines? Why did you make it the way you made it? Well, hopefully I can just answer all those questions for you, and hopefully that'll solve a lot of the questions that everybody has. First of all, I built and designed this welding cart with everything in mind. I knew that I had this amount of machinery, and I know that I wanted to place it in the position that I did, so I built the cart around that. And I knew that the cart wasn't going to be moving too far from where it is. I have easy access right here. Most of my MIG guns have 15-foot gun leads, which allows me to get all the way around my table without moving the cart. If I need to move it, I've got it set up on a 12-foot lead so I can pull this thing out and move it anywhere in my shop to gain access. So it's worked out perfectly so far. There are a couple of things that I've added to it. Not much. Is a hood rack, a helmet rack right on the very end right there. Very simple, but I hang my helmet right there. I'm probably going to put another one on this side over here. I also, you may have seen me in the past wear these little tool belts right here. I've got some cutters, and I've got a pick to pick out the end of the MIG nozzle, some layout tools and stuff, miscellaneous stuff, and that's really been handy for me on my tool belt. But I've found it works just as good and just as efficiently if I just hook the belt on the side of the table. I have one on either side of the table. Other than that, it is so far so good. There's been a couple of torch leads. I have a couple of them set up in the center part right here. I've since taken those out because I don't have much use for those because the leads I now take right around to the outside. It's just better accessibility for me. As far as the machines, all my equipment right here is HTP. I'm very fortunate to have a good relationship with the folks over at HTP, and I'm able to acquire their latest and greatest pieces of equipment. First off is the ProPulse 200. This machine is capable of MIG, and it has about 21 different settings on it. You can also do aluminum, MIG aluminum, silicon bronze, stainless steel. All the settings are within the machine itself. Simple settings, gas settings, different gas ranges. Easy selection, a very nice machine. This thing has been really good, really functional. Next to that is, this is the newest one. This is the 200i with Easy Set. This is a MIG machine only. Now I use this for light fabrication. If you guys know, most of my stuff in here is 63,000s or 95,000s. It's not very often I get bigger than that. So this machine is very handy. It's just like the name implies, Easy Set. You turn it on and just a little bit of adjustment right here, and it allows you to go through the different thicknesses of material. Welds very smooth. Now to start back, I'm going to back up just a little bit. All of these machines are rigged differently the way that I want to rig them. This one has 35 thousandths wire on it. This one has 30 thousandths wire on it. That brings us to the ProPulse 300, the big brother to the 200. Extremely efficient, more commercialized type of machine, has a lot more capability, but basically does the same things. Double pulse, single pulse, aluminum, stainless steel, silicon bronze, very versatile. I have not had a chance to do a video on this, but I've got one planned coming really soon. I currently have this machine spooled with 4043 aluminum, and I've been working with aluminum MIG welding on this. Single pulse, double pulse, and I'm getting the feel for that. Really, really fun. Down here is the HTP Invertig 221 AC DC machine. Again, a TIG machine that does mild steel aluminum. It also has pulse and for that too as well. I love this thing. It works perfectly. I've got no complaints about that. Right next to, underneath that is a water cooler. I've got the Arctic Chill, HEP Arctic Chill. Currently, I have this one hooked up with a 17 series air-cooled torch, but underneath it, I've got the water-cooled torch hooked in, and it's sitting right here. It's just a matter of changing the leads out, and I can go from air-cooled to water-cooled. I've been doing a lot of small little parts lately, so the air-cooled torch is working out pretty good for me right at the moment. Right next to that is the MIG 130. This is the machine that I use in the field. Again, light duty. It operates up 110 volts. Just throw it in the back of your truck, plug it into a local, a wall socket at most houses or commercial buildings. It doesn't require 220, but again, it's just for light duty stuff. 63 thousandths, 95, and not much. I might be able to sneak some 1/8 inch in there, but not really. I use this for gate repairs and stuff like that, so works out pretty good. I've got some flux core wire on this, works out the best. Next to that is the HTP MIG 2400. Now this is a bigger transformer based machine. A super smooth arc, it's old school transformer, but still works absolutely perfectly. I've got it spooled with some dual shield flux core right now, and that is the different processes that I have on all these machines. I just go right to them, the different wire sizes, different processes, works out really good. On the very bottom is the 200 TLP stick machine. This little lunchbox machine right here offers a stick and pulse stick, and it's 220 volts, so you can't plug it into the wall, but man, I'm telling you, this is the strongest, most smoothest arc in a stick machine that I've ever used. It is really amazing for such a small little box right here. And next to that is the 875 SC plasma cutter. This is my handheld plasma cutter. It's the same machine that I have on the plasma table. Both of them are 875s. Work absolutely perfect. Smooth arc, smooth cutting power with this handheld torch that it comes with. So there it is, all the machines and how I've got them rigged, and I'm very happy with what I've got right here. It works really good for me here in the shop. May not work for you. And also, I've had no issues with any of these machines right here. If you're curious to take a look at some of these machines, feel free to go to their website at usaweld.com. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this is the Yoast 750 Di. I get a lot of questions about this, people say, hey, I see you have Yoast Vise. Not all Yoast Vices are made here in the United States. A lot of them are, some of them are from overseas. Yoast approached me about 3 years ago and said, hey, we would like to send you out a couple Vices. Go to our website, check out, and we'll send you, what would work best for you in your shop. They did make some recommendations. Those recommendations was their Vices made here in the United States, and they were awesome. But for me and what I use in my shop, I chose this 750 Di because of several different reasons. One thing I like about it is the 12-point adjustable 360-degree swivel on the Vise head itself. It adjusts in any position and locks in, which I think is a great feature because I have a lot of different stuff here in the shop, and a lot of it different, welding different angles and stuff like that. It's worked out really well. 5-inch wide jaws, nice, fully extended and opens up, big. When you flip it around to the other side, not only does it have the capability of clamping pipe in here, but also tubing on the top side right here. I think opens up to, I think, 4 inches capability of clamping round tube in here to do surface stuff. All in all, it's a perfect Vise for me here in my shop. May not be for you. Yoast Vices, I've got a couple other ones that are just awesome. I've had no problems with it at all. Great piece of equipment. Okay, so this is something that I wasn't going to talk about in this video, but I can't help it. I have to. These are Fireball tools, and I recently acquired these tools from Justin, and he makes a great product over there. I use them for fabrication. I used to do the old school way, and it would take me forever to put together a gate and get everything perfectly square. But since I've had these tools, there's numerous different ways of using these squares to fabricate all sorts of different stuff. So for twice as fast or 3 times faster than normal, I can put together a gate in literally 10 minutes now, where it would take me hours to fully assemble and fully weld out and get perfectly square the gates. A great tool to have, Fireball tools. Check them out. Alright, so this is the Portaband, my Portaband, DeWalt Portaband, the DWM 120, 5-inch Portaband saw. And I have it accompanied with my Swag Off-Road Portaband table. Now this is something that I knew I was going to get. I got them both at the same time. I got this one and the table, ordered them separately. I'm not affiliated with Swag or DeWalt. This is just something that I wanted to have in my shop. Sorry I'm a little washed out with the sun, a little overexposure, but that's nothing I can do about that right now. I'm always battling the sun and everything I do when I'm filming. But this is something that's worked out perfectly for me. I've always wanted a bandsaw, a metal band cutting saw in my shop, and because I'm limited with space, this is what works out really good for me. I've got it set on the end of my lathe table right here, which allows me to put longer stock out into the driveway area, and I can also run stock about 4 or 5 feet this way if I have to. I've got angles that I can operate with, so this is the most practical location for me for this. Now when I purchased the Portaband table from Swag, I also got the optional foot pedal that goes with it, and if you're looking to do something like this, I strongly recommend getting the optional foot pedal. But it's very inexpensive. I believe it was only $20 or $25 for an additional upgrade, and that was a great upgrade to this right here. So anyways, this is the DeWalt Portaband with a Swag Off-Road quarter band table. Awesome. All right, I hope that answered your questions regarding the storage of some of the tools and equipment that I have here in the shop. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Check out the website at jimbosgarage.com for latest t-shirt, torch lead holders. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.